gonna replace the thermostat, part number WB20K8. Common symptoms to replace the thermostat are: doesn't heat at all, the oven doesn't heat properly, the oven doesn't shut off or keeps heating basically. The first thing we're gonna do to open it is using a putty knife. We're gonna pop this small latch here up so we can open the top part of the stove. You just press, you're gonna see a small gap here. This is an open state. You're gonna see a small gap. You put in the putty knife and press forward. This is how it's gonna look like after. The reason is we open it this way and not the other way first is because on the top you have 3 screws, torque screws, that basically rusted out over time, and every time you try to open them they just break out. So we're gonna try a different way to open it. This is another example of why not. Now the next step is to open the screws under the panel here. You're gonna have 1 screw here. It's a bit tight space. What I used, it's a small wrench with a Phillips bit. You just open it a little bit. I put a screwdriver here to provide support from keeping the stove from falling down again, and then you can just slowly open this small screw out. The next step is to you also have another screw on the top, on the other side. Just do the same thing and then keep moving. Next step is to just remove all the knobs from the stove. You have like 5 knobs. Just take them out, put them aside. You're gonna have 2 screws, one here and one on the other side behind the knobs. Open them, put them aside, and then you're gonna move on to the bottom. Open the oven door. You're gonna have 3 screws, 1, 2, and 3. Take them out. This is how it's gonna look like. You can, after you remove these 3 screws on the bottom, just take the panel and you can just take it out. This is the thermostat. You remove these 2 Phillips screws here, and then this is what you're gonna see. This is the old thermostat. Now you have the WB20K8. It doesn't look like this one. We're gonna do some modifications to it. They work exactly the same, they break exactly the same, so you can use one or the other, it doesn't matter. Mark where each wire goes, yellow and red, doesn't really matter, but still. Also, you're gonna see a cardboard here. This cardboard, you can just take it out, put it aside. We're gonna use that later. Now these other 2 screws that goes into the thermostat, it works different than the WB, so you can use, we're gonna see some modifications to it. Doesn't really matter. Basically, you see this orange wire here. This wire is expendable. You don't really need it. You're gonna have the red wire here and the yellow wire here. These are all the wires you actually need. Next step is to take out the thermostat from the back. This is the thermostat wire. This is where the sensor goes into the oven. Okay, this is basically a rear view of the oven. I went behind the oven and took this picture. You just take the wire, slightly pull it up until you're gonna see the sensor. Take out the thermostat completely from the front. You can just pull it out, nothing holds it. This is the new thermostat after I put it in. This is the WB20K8. You just wiggle the temperature sensor to the back. I'm gonna show you a picture of that later. This is a picture from the front. Now from the back you need to wiggle the temperature sensor back into place inside the oven. You have a small hole here. You fill it with your finger basically, and then you can put the temperature sensor and slide it into the oven. Now to have more access, you can just bend this panel here and this is where it actually goes into the oven. After you're done putting it back into the oven, you just bend the panel back into place, make sure it's straight. This is where the temperature sensor goes into the oven. We're going to do some modifications, put it nicely. This is how it looks after you adjusted it. You have two small clips here. You just press them from the top and from the bottom, and you can just take them out and then put the temperature sensor back in. This is after we put the thermostat back into place. We put the cardboard in, and then we put the two Phillips head screws. And of course we actually connected the yellow wire and red wire, and you are basically done. You just put all the parts that we took out in reverse. You just watch this video in reverse, and then you can basically do step by step which part you have to install, which screws you have to install, and then you're done basically. That's it.